Hey guys, what's going on? I had a whole like 20-minute clip loaded before this, and it just made the video way too dang long. So I'm kind of restarting this clip. This video today, I am going to a float spa. Shelby, for Christmas, one of my gifts was like 2 gift certificates to go to the True Rest Float Spa, which is, if you don't know what it is, it's like this big pod of water, and it's filled with like 1 billion pounds of the Epsom salt stuff, and it's supposed to be like the most relaxing, comforting, reset your mind and body type of deal you can get. They cost about the same as an hour-long like massage. I know that's what people always compare them to, so I figured I'd throw that in there. And supposed to be like basically like one of the most amazing things you can do for your body. And I've been wanting to try one for probably a couple years. I think they've been around here. The closest one is actually kind of down towards my work, so it's of course down in Ohio, and about a half-hour drive. And the funny thing was, I've been wanting to go. They're actually really expensive, to be honest with you. It's on average from like, I see them priced, they got sales all the time, so I'd say about $70 to like $100 for just one session, which is 1 hour. And I'm a cheap ass kind of, and to me that's just, in hindsight, very worth it if it does what it's supposed to do. But at the same time, I'm like, $100, almost for just 1 hour. Like, ugh. So right around Christmas, they were running a special where you buy one session. The session was on sale, and it was buy one, get one free. So, for the price of one on sale, you actually get 2 1-hour sessions. I actually tagged Shelby in the thing. I was like, if Santa's looking for any other gifts. And the funny thing was, she just laughed at it. She's like, oh my God, that's, pretty good deal or whatever. She had already bought that deal for me before I'd even seen it. So it was actually pretty cool. So you'll see my experience here. I won't spoil it for you. It was definitely an experience. I'll leave it at that. Did I like it? Did I not like it? You'll see. What's up, guys? So it's a couple days later now after the float. I started making a video like literally right after I left, and then ended up getting a phone call and getting distracted and kind of forgot. But also, I wanted to wait a little bit after I like stopped making that clip. I was like, you know what? Let me wait a little bit and see, what happens. Like, because obviously you're not just gonna like instantly notice results. So at first, I would have gave it a thumbs down, and to no fault of the company. True Rest Float Spa, amazing place. The staff is super friendly and just down to earth, doesn't make you feel like uncomfortable or anything. The facility is amazing, extremely clean, extremely peaceful. The experience itself was amazing, but me personally, unfortunately, I get Very, very, very bad motion sickness. If I'm in a car, like in the passenger seat, I really can't look at my phone or read a book or anything like that because for some reason the movement just like really like gets me nauseous. Like fair rides, like the spinny stuff, I can't do it. Even like those big like pirate ship rides that just go back and forth, it makes me super nauseous. Like I'll get like really hot and sweaty and then like my stomach gets upset. I don't ever get sick, like throw up or anything like that, but I just get really like sick feeling and then just kind of like I just want to go home, lay down and just, you know, shut the world out for a while. The weird thing is though with me, like I can do roller coasters all day. I can do the flip ones, the spinny ones, anything. Like if I'm like moving like at rates of speed, I can do all that stuff just fine, but like the sit and spin type of rides, you know, like I just can't do them. But I get motion sickness, so that's a thing to note. When I was sitting there watching, they show this little video when you get in there. You fill out, they give you an iPad, you know, to basically fill out your information and like a waiver type deal. And then once you're done with that, that's just like a first time thing, you know, that's just like a new customer type deal. And then the video is also like a new customer thing too. It's like a 6-minute video. And what it is just basically giving you like, telling you kind of like what to expect, you know, how it works, like just some general tips and tricks. After that, they take you on like a little tour of the facility. There's like a little, I guess almost like a vanity area. I don't even know what you'd call it, but they've got like Q-tips and lotions and, you know, more towels if you need them. Basically just anything to like get ready, I guess would be a good way to sum that up. There is a like lounge area that they really recommend just kind of like relaxing in after your session. There's like an oxygen bar. I have no idea what that is. I really wanted to try it, but I'll get to the reason that I didn't afterwards. But just, you know, kind of like this just peaceful, like soft music playing. You know, the lights are kind of low. They've got like, you know, like those salt lamps and just like a really, really relaxing kind of environment. I didn't get a picture of it. I wish I would have. And then they take you into the room, and it's just probably about the size of a bedroom, maybe a little bit smaller than your average bedroom. And basically like the whole area is waterproof. It's really cool. So like you walk in, you're on this like stone, and there's a giant shower head, probably like a 12 or 16 inch rainfall shower head up in the ceiling. And before you get in, you have to shower. So they've got on the wall, they've got a little thing with body wash, shampoo, and conditioner. She says at first just do shampoo and conditioner, or shampoo and body wash, because they don't want the conditioner, like, you know, any oils and stuff getting in the water. So shampoo, body wash, you know, just general shower, and then you float. You get out, you wash again. I was like, you know, I don't need a shower again. That's going to be 3 showers, you know, in an hour and a half's time. You need the shower afterwards. So there is so much of the Epsom salt in this thing. Like when you're floating in it, you know, you're not fully submerged. You know, like your body's not in the water. You're basically like on the water. It's a really interesting sensation. It's hard to describe, to be honest with you. So with that being said, though, you know, when you get in, you kind of splash around a little bit. Within a few minutes, once the water dries, it's like, you know, like on your arm hairs and stuff, like it's like almost crunchy because there's so much salt. So you definitely need to shower afterwards. I didn't do like a, you know, full body scrub, but just, you know, rinse off a couple spots, you know, where I noticed there was like some salt on me. You know, I washed with some body wash and stuff. But let's backtrack to that video. So in that video, they start talking about motion sickness and like nausea. And they said, you know, some people experience that right away or, you know, towards the end of the float. And as soon as they said that, I was just like, because I get motion sickness. So I was like, if there's any possible way that somebody could get motion sickness from something, it's going to happen to me. Basically, the way it starts, your first float, they play music for a few minutes to kind of get you started. And then like 5 minutes before it's over, the music comes back on. I guess after the first session, you're allowed to like plug your phone in and play your own music, or they can play music and stuff like that. I don't really understand why, to be honest with you. Maybe it's just to kind of fully, you know, immerse yourself in this. Basically, I got in. There's a motion sensor in the room that turns the light on and off. So after like 45 seconds of not moving, the light in the room turns off. All you're left with is this small LED light like down by your feet that's in the water that kind of makes the water glow. There's 3 buttons, kind of like when you're floating, it would be on your left hand. The first button is for the jet, the second button is for the lights, and then the third one is like a little intercom system where you can talk to the front desk, like, you know, if you just have a question or if there's an issue or anything whatsoever. So I didn't turn the jet on. Also, I feel like that would have moved me around, and I'll get to that here in a second as well. The light, it gets so dark, like it's pitch black, and you just kind of like lose your senses almost, essentially. And that light ended up being really bright. I didn't want it pitch black, but the light would kind of like, it would fade on a color and then fade off, fade on to a different color. I wish I would have hit the button a couple times, because you can just have it like stay on, and then I feel like that would have been most comfortable for me. So you get in this thing and it doesn't look that big, but when you're in it, like, I'm about 5'10", 5'11", like 250 pounds, so I'm a bigger guy. You can get in this thing and just sprawl out, basically. And in the video they were talking about, you know, you can lay like that, you can, you know, put your arms on your chest or like up like this, just basically like whatever's comfiest. I was just laying like this, basically, you know, just kind of floating. And then I decided to move my arms like this, because I sleep like that a lot, you know, like with my arms up like this. I was like, so maybe that'll be comfier. When I did that, it was like within 60 seconds I started getting nauseous. And for me, that feeling is like I start getting really, really uncomfortably hot, and like my face almost a little bit sweaty. And then my stomach starts to like just kind of like feel really nauseous and upset. And so I kind of quickly just put my arms back, and I tried to enjoy the rest of it. I was about probably 35-40 minutes of the way into it out of the hour, and unfortunately I had to tap out. I never closed the lid on mine. I don't know if that would have helped or made it better in a sense, or worse. So next time I go, I'm definitely going to try closing the lid and just see what it's like. This first session, I definitely wouldn't recommend just going once. First off, in the video they show you, they say you're not going to notice a ton of results on your first float. And the way they put it, like the most common thing for people is it alleviates stress, it alleviates anxiety, and it makes you feel so much better overall for, you know, extended period. Not just, you know, for a couple hours you feel relaxed, but like for days or even, you know, a week or more. So they recommend, you know, steadily going, you know, maybe once a week or a couple times a month for, you know, the maximum results. I'm really glad that I got more than one, because the first one for me was more just kind of figuring it out. And now I know next time I go, I'm going to take some of the Dramamine, I think it's called, the stuff that like helps like seasickness. So hopefully I don't get nauseous at all, and also know like a little bit more what to expect. So the reason I didn't, like, basically when I got done, I got out, I took a nice long shower, you know, I started off really hot, you know, kind of washed off, and then I turned the water a little bit lower, and I just kind of like leaned against the wall for a while, and it made me feel a lot better. I was still nauseous feeling, but it really alleviated it a lot. So when I was done with the shower, you know, dried off, got dressed, cleaned up the room, you know, I splashed a little bit of water, so I wiped that up. Basically, like, just kind of checked out and took off. I really wanted to try the oxygen bar, but I was just still not feeling 100%, so I just skipped it. Wanted to get outside too, because it's wintertime right now for us, so it's freezing outside. Luckily, like, going outside, that fresh cold air felt amazing, so I got in my car, just kind of like relaxed for about 5 or 6 minutes before I ended up driving home. But as the day went on, I felt better and better. Like, as the nausea went away, which was fairly quick. By the time I got home, it was pretty much gone. So 2 things I messed up on. One, I should have had the Dramamine stuff, because the nausea. 2, I went there and I had a pounding headache. I took ibuprofen like maybe an hour before I got there. Unfortunately, it did not help, so the whole time I had a headache. That could have contributed to me feeling the nauseous like I did, the nausea. So, actually 3 things. I had a big spaghetti lunch before I went, you know, big plate of spaghetti, a couple pieces of big, you know, garlic bread, and after that, I read online that they recommend eating something very light if you're going to eat at all beforehand. So that definitely wasn't something light. So I think all three of those kind of contributed to a less than favorable first experience. But now I know what to expect. Now I know how it works. And next time I go, I feel like I'm going to have 1,000% better experience. And I can't wait, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of trying to space it out because I just went, 2 days ago, so I don't want to like waste the other one. But let's get back to that day though. As the day went on, there was 1,000% a noticeable sense of like I felt more calm and at peace. I'm a person, I hide it very well, but I have terrible anxiety. Like at almost at all times, I just have like, the anxiety feeling in my chest where like I'm nervous or anxious about something for no reason whatsoever at all. And then times where there is a reason, it's not enough that it should be, triggering anything like that. I forgot to pay the phone bill. I'll pay it when I get home or, when I sit down or something. And my chest is just on fire until that happens. Like something terrible is going to happen. At the worst, they're going to turn the phone off until I pay it. You know what I mean? Like my mind, for some reason, just blows small things up into such huge things. And it gives me terrible anxiety. When I drive, I have pretty bad road rage. It's been like that since day one. My mom had it when I was growing up, and I think it just kind of like transferred over to me from seeing how she drove. And she was a very great driver. I'm a phenomenal driver. It's not anything like that. It's just when I see people doing other stuff where they, cut you off with no blinker, semis that just veer around in traffic as if they're a sports car. So it's like stuff that's like justifiable, but also at the same time, there is no need to get mad and have road rage about it. You know what I mean? Just be like, hey, that guy can't drive, and go on with my day. I was definitely calmer when I was driving home, and then, running around later that day. So even though I had like what I'll call a botched first float, I definitely noticed results. Like it did what they said it was going to do. Obviously I would like better results, but it definitely made a difference. I went to bed a little bit later than normal. So normally we get up for work around I get up around 4 a.m. And I got to be to work at 5. Normally I like to be in bed at the latest around 9, and then I'm probably asleep by like 9:30 or so. I went to bed closer to probably 10:30. So I stayed up a lot later, but I slept really good. Like slept through the night. I don't remember waking up at all. My alarm went off and there was like no struggle to wake up, which is huge for me. Normally I snooze and snooze and snooze and snooze and snooze. And then I get out of bed and I'm just like, oh my God, I feel dead. I got up, no snooze, got out of bed. I felt great. I don't know if it was a placebo or if that genuinely helped, but I know I haven't slept that good in a while. And me waking up for work is the hardest task of the day. So definitely noticed some results. Even through that day, like it was a terrible day at work. Something that would have normally just had me just raging all day, just mad as hell, ready to quit my job. And I was just like, I was mad, don't get me wrong, I had a rough day at work. But it was so much less severe than that day would have normally been for me. So I have to say overall, 2 thumbs up. Even though my experience was kind of botched at first, I can't wait to go back. So if you're still watching this video at this point, I definitely appreciate it. Now I want to kind of go over some things that I wish I would have looked up beforehand, because I just looked up like all the benefits of it. I'm just like, you go there, you lay down in the water, you get out. I didn't think about eating beforehand. I didn't think about how to act in the water, essentially, and just how to like handle it overall. So first off, eat light. Don't go to McDonald's, get a big meal. That's another thing to mention. I went around 2 o'clock. So like midday. I think doing this either early in the morning, like when they first open, which I think is like 9 in the morning or 10 maybe, or late at night. They close at 10 at night, so maybe around like 7 or 8 at night would, I think, for me, net the best results. So my next appointment is definitely going to be I'll probably do it around like 7. That way it's dark outside, you know, it's nighttime when I'm going home. There won't be, you know, much traffic out on the road because the place for me is about 40 minutes away. Another thing, if you have cuts on your body, we just clipped our dog's nails the night before, and as usual, when we were done, when I let her go, she almost like did a burnout, and on my leg I have a, you know, deep, pretty good scratch about this long, right on the inside of my thigh. It stings. It's one of those, you know, like light scratches that stings like heck. I didn't even think of that, but you're going in salt water. That's gonna burn. Luckily, the place I go to, True Rest, they included this little packet of Vaseline where you can cover like any scratches or, you know, stuff like that that's gonna burn from salt, because you are laying in the saltiest water you will ever experience in your life. So you don't want that in your mouth, you don't want that in your eyes, you don't want to inhale it, and you definitely don't want it on any cuts. But it says any kind of like irritable, tender skin can be, you know, irritated by the salt water. So like they don't recommend shaving or waxing on the day of. Eat a light meal. Another thing, they say avoid stimulants. So like caffeine, alcohol, nicotine on the day of your session, because that's basically going to counteract what this float is there to do. Like all of those are going to stimulate you, while this is there to, you know, calm you down and like reset you. And another thing, when you get in the water, you're splashing around, you're moving around, so that water is going to be kind of moving around. When you lay down at first, it's going to, you know, you're going to be turning, you're going to bump in, you know, like my handle's bumping into the wall, stuff like that. Just stay as still as you can, and within a few minutes that water is going to calm down and you'll just kind of like float in place. Yeah, see, this one says floating with the light on is okay, but you're not going to get optimal results. But they also don't recommend on your first visit going into full darkness, because I guess I don't know if, you know, the technicalities here, but easing yourself into it versus just going full on, I guess, would probably be much better results, because it's going to be a drastic change. So, you know, having the light on still, you won't get the full benefits, but also the first time you need to, you know, let yourself adjust. That video I was watching that they play, it talks about it, you know, basically you're not going to have perfect results in everything you expect on the first visit. You're going to have to go consecutively, you know, at least a couple times, and every time you go is going to get better and better, basically. And they said, and I was like, you know, that kind of sucks. You know, I'm one of those guys, like, I want, like, instantaneous results, you know what I mean? But it makes sense. They're like, you know, think of, you know, stress and anxiety and, you know, any issues like that. It didn't just happen overnight. Like, you didn't just wake up one day, like, perfect, and then the next day you have stress and anxiety. You know, chances are, you've been experiencing stress and anxiety for years and years, you know, and if you're older, it could be decades. You can't just get rid of it instantly, you know what I mean? So it made complete sense that it just kind of like, you ease yourself into it, and every time it gets better and better. I was a little bit skeptical at first, but after my first float, the way I felt, I am a complete believer in it. Do I think I'm going to go there a couple times and just be ridden of my anxiety and stress and stuff like that? No, absolutely not. But as good as I felt that time, even being like motion sick, you know, having nausea, I'm a complete believer. And I feel like next time I go, if I can take that medicine to not feel any nausea, would be my experience is going to be 1,000 times better. So I can't wait to go back. And I know this video was ridiculously long, but I definitely wanted to make it because it was quite the experience, and I definitely recommend it. And I wanted to just, you know, share it, you know, because unfortunately not everything is as perfect as it looks, you know. So me personally, I saw this float spa. Everybody's like, wow, it's amazing. I feel like a whole new person. So I assumed I'm going to go float and feel like a whole new person. But, you know, that's not how it went. And I just, you know, wanted to share my experience. That about wraps it up. I've said a ton already, and I could keep going on about it. But, you know, some of the times these talking videos just go on way too long. And if you're still watching, I do appreciate it. If you were interested at all, definitely appreciate a thumbs up. You guys never know how much that helps. And yeah, so if you guys end up going to one of these, definitely let me know in the comments, or if you've been to one before, you know, share your experience. I'm curious to hear about it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.